Hello, this morning I washed my hair, as you can probably tell, which is so nice, it was so desperately needed. I'm a little bit sore, mostly in the upper arms, although not so much sore, just weak, and my hips or glutes, I don't know exactly, but I have spent the entire rest of the day trying to do this university assignment. It took me so long, but I finally managed to do it around 5, maybe 6 o'clock. And then I've had a pretty chill evening. I'm now watching some Daredevil with my friend, and that's all for now. Tomorrow my aunt's coming round, so I'm really looking forward to that. And no other plans for tomorrow so far. And still not heard back from any jobs, which is incredibly annoying. Anyway, that's all. I'll see you later. Bye! Hello, it is just before noon on Tuesday, and I've got 2 job interviews scheduled for the next 2 days, which I am delighted about. One of them is a receptionist job. Actually, they're both receptionist jobs, but this one is only for 2 days per week, 10 hours total, but the pay is a bit better, and that's tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I emailed the people who I didn't get a call from on Friday, who I was waiting to hear back from and didn't hear anything from. And they'd already asked me last week if I could come in on Thursday. And so I sent them an email today to say, hey, can I just double check, do you still want me to come on Thursday? And they said, yes, please, 1 o'clock. And with that one, the pay isn't as good, but I think I can work more hours there. So for me, it would be great if I actually can get both jobs. Obviously, that's like a dream, but if I can get both jobs, because then I would have the 2 shifts with the one company that pays me better, and then basically the rest of the time that I'm free until I get an actual, acting job, I can work at the other one. And I think the other one also has longer opening hours anyway, so it would just be really good. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I would love for both of them to go through, or even just one of them. I just need a job. And now I've just started editing the vlog from last week, as in my time last week, but this clip might end up going in it. Unedited though, it's over half an hour, so maybe not. So it might have been yesterday's vlog, but we'll find out. That's what I'm doing at the moment. My friend has just messaged, so maybe we'll watch Daredevil a little bit later on. I might make myself a hot chocolate, I'm kind of tempted. I've left my window open, so it's quite cool in here, and this is like quite a thin top, but I am under the blanket, and I wouldn't be against a hot chocolate. And my grandma really wants me to use up the hot chocolate powder stuff. We'll see. My grandma's out at the moment. She'll be back though in the next hour or so, I imagine, maybe hour and a half. And then after lunch, my aunt is coming and she's gonna stay around until supper, so that should be nice. And yeah, that's just what I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to knit some more as well because I haven't done that for a few days. But I think that's everything I've got to report for now, and I will see you all later. Bye! Hello, I'm about to head out for my first job interview. And I'm a bit nervous, only because I don't really understand what their company does. So if they ask me questions about it, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I've tried to research it, but it's just not something I understand. Ah well, we'll see how it goes. It'll be nice to go into London anyway. And then presumably I'm gonna come back, and then tonight we're going in again for Guys and Dolls, which I'm really excited about. And then tomorrow I've got another job interview. What fun. I know I'm gonna get there probably super early, but I just don't want to wait any longer, and I'm worried if I leave any later, then I'm gonna be late. And you probably know me by now, I like to get to places early. And I'm warm in this, so I haven't even got my coat on yet, or my shoes. So we're gonna head out very soon, and I just wanted to share that with you. Bye! So, in a random change of plans, I've just got really cheap tickets for Moulin Rouge, so I'm gonna go see the matinee show of that. Ah! Happy February, we've made it. Throughout January, especially around the middle of January, sort of the week of the 15th maybe, I saw so many people posting, especially on Twitter, but just in general, about how long January feels. And I didn't agree. I was like, no, it feels like it's been 2 weeks and I'm happy with that. I don't feel like I need to rush January. I kind of want to wait because I want to get a job. But now it's got towards the end of the month and I would say this last week has felt very, very long. But I don't know why it's such a big deal. Like, I do think January felt like an age, but for me, I like the winter, so I don't mind that. And look, it does feel a bit ironic that today, 1st of February, it is absolutely blue skies, sunny, like really lovely weather. And yesterday was cloudy and ended up raining as well. So, you know, it does feel like it's actually trying to show us the difference between January and February. But for me, I don't really notice the difference that much. We did have a lot of sunny days in January, so anyway. Yesterday was an amazing day. It was so good. I had my job interview at the start of the day, well, at 12:30, but I got there really early and I got lost, very lost. I ended up, I think, adding about 10 minutes walking to my journey just because I was going in the wrong direction. And I did bump into an aunt, so that was nice as well, just in central London, very unexpected. I did the job interview. I think it went well. They did say they're interviewing about 5 others, so we'll see how it actually goes and if I get the job, but at least I did it. And I wasn't nervous or anything, it was very chill. And even though I was really early, they started early, so I didn't have to wait around for a while, so that was nice. And then I finished that, I talked to my mum after that, and I actually went into the Primark because I was near Tottenham Court Road. And I thought that they used to have sort of a resting area, but maybe I'm thinking of a different Primark because they didn't. But I just sat on some stairs and chatted to my mum. And then by this point, it was maybe 1:15, and that's when I tried to get the tickets for Moulin Rouge, and I was able to, for a show that started at 2:30. But as I say, I was at Tottenham Court Road, so I wasn't very far from the theatre. I went to see Moulin Rouge. It was incredible. It was just such a show. Hold on, I made some notes. I don't have a lot of time, but we'll go through this anyway. So the first thing I noticed as soon as it started was there was something a bit weird about the sound. I don't know if it was too loud in general. I don't know if it wasn't mixed well. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a nice audio experience. It did get better as the show went on, especially Act 2, but definitely at the start I was a bit like, oh, something about this doesn't feel quite right. And it wasn't the singers because they were fantastic. So I don't know. The set was phenomenal. The lighting was brilliant. I don't know how long they would have spent in tech, but they did it so beautifully, so very well done to them. And of course, the choreography was insane and the dancers were so talented. It was such a joy to watch. The cast in general, just phenomenal. Really enjoyed watching them. And there wasn't much of a plot, but there usually isn't in shows like that. But it was a show, as I say. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of And Juliet in the sense of using more modern pop songs and making them musical theatre. And I think it just tickles something in me. I don't know if that's the right expression, but it just hits the right spots for me when pop songs, any song is sung in a musical theatre style. I just love it. And the harmonies, it was so beautiful. And the mixes and like they would mix different songs together, the mashups, whatever it's called. It was just so good. And there was one song, I'm not going to say which song it is because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's the closing of Act 1. And it was a song that I was waiting for throughout Act 1. And I was like, is this song just not going to happen? Have they cut it from the musical? But no, it came and it was so good. All of it was just so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would highly, highly recommend it. And what I could not believe, and I was so happy about this was a matinee show on a weekday in the end of January. Like, it wouldn't have a reason to be full, and yet where I was sat anyway, it looked absolutely packed out. And I was so happy to see that, and the audience was great. I didn't hear any singing along, which I greatly appreciated. They did actually say it in the pre-show announcement, but people laughed when they said it, so I was a bit worried. But no, people were respectful, which I thoroughly appreciated. But it was still such a good audience. I mean, they were applauding, they were loud, they were cheering, they were laughing. It was so good. I was very happy. And from where I was sat, I was in the grand circle, row E, but I had an amazing view of the stage. It was so good. So that was a big success. Then I went to Burger King and got myself, because originally I was going to go to Greg's, and then I saw that Burger King had a deal that had a £2 Whopper Wednesday or whatever it was called, and it included the vegetarian option, so I went there. And I was gutted to find out that they've got rid of the plant-based burger and they've exchanged it for a bean burger. And it's just not as good. I was really upset. I'm glad I only spent £2 on it because I was very disappointed. I mean, it was still fine, but I prefer the plant-based one. And then I took the tube to London Bridge. What I didn't realise, the whole reason why I took a matinee show was because I didn't want to pay the fees going in and out of London multiple times. But what I didn't realise was that Guys and Dolls was not playing in sort of the West End area with all the theatres. It was playing by London Bridge, actually by Tower Bridge. And so either way, I had to pay money for the tube. It was still cheaper than going back in and out, but still, it was a bit annoying because I was hoping to just be able to walk it. But anyway, got to the theatre, they had water. I was so grateful for this. They had like a little water fountain with cups that you could just fill up yourself. I loved that. I wish every theatre, every restaurant, every place ever had that because I was so thirsty. Because I ended up staying in London all day, I hadn't expected that. I was expecting to come back home, so I didn't bring anything with me. Anyway, that was all fine. Sat and waited for my grandma. She came, we went to see the show. It was amazing. I was in Guys and Dolls back in 2016, I believe, and I was one of the mission band, and I had a triangle, and I loved my triangle, but I didn't love the show. It took me until I think the second or third live show where we had an audience for me to realise what the show was about and what the plot was. So when it finished, I was a bit like, right, we can forget about that show now. And so it's never interested me, and especially even this one in London. I've heard such good things about it from everyone. And yet I was a bit like, it's Guys and Dolls. I don't want to see Guys and Dolls. But my grandma, who doesn't like musicals, really wanted to go see it. So I was like, well, I'll go with you. And as I say, I had heard really good things about it. And I'm so, so glad we went. We had really good seats because my grandma is willing to pay a little bit more than I am. So we were right at the front of the stalls, basically. It was so good. And I mean, the cast was phenomenal. I think I've seen Celinda Schoonmaker in Les Miserables, I believe, but I could be mistaken. But I've definitely seen lots of footage of her. Not in Guys and Dolls though, but just in general. And she was phenomenal as Sarah. She was probably my favourite. I didn't like Nathan, the lead, but I think you're not meant to like him. I didn't like his physicality or anything, but it wasn't the actor, I think it was the character, so I think the actor did a really good job. And what was nice was because I haven't really thought about this musical in years, and yet I do know it almost inside out because I was in it, there were bits that I was like, oh, this song is coming up and I can't wait for this song, and oh, this is going to be so good and I wonder what they're going to do with this. And it was just so exciting, it was so fun, and the whole show was fun and brilliant, and the harmonies were so good, and the staging was so clever. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? Because I didn't know how they were going to do it, especially with the audience being in it as well, and it was just so well done. I loved it. And it brought back memories as well, so it was just everything. It was just, I was very happy. Anyway, as you can see, I'm a little bit made up, and as I said earlier, I don't have a lot of time. That's because I've got my second job interview and I need to leave in now. Basically, it's 11:44 and I was planning on leaving at 11:45, so need to get all my layers on, need to go. I mean, I'm probably still going to get there super early, but anyway. The reason why I've got makeup on today and I didn't yesterday I didn't really feel like I needed to, but today I'm going to a beauty clinic type thing to apply for the role of receptionist. So I thought I should make it a little bit of an effort. I've literally just done lipstick and mascara and popped in some earrings and a necklace, but still, it's better than nothing. And I can't fix my hair. We're just gonna have to accept that. So I'm gonna head out now because I'm running out of time. And then after that, I'm hoping my great aunt is here from Belgium. So I'm hoping to catch up with her once I get back, depending on how long the interview is. And then I've got no plans for tonight, which I'm kind of happy about. I loved seeing 2 shows yesterday, but I think it did tire me out. I don't think I've ever done a 2-show day before. I don't think so. So that was a new experience. And it was nice, I really enjoyed it. And I was a bit worried that I wouldn't be able to enjoy the second one after seeing the first, but I was, so that's good. But I'm looking forward to a night in and maybe watching, actually we finished Daredevil and we watched the new Black Panther. I say new, I think it's from 2022. So I don't know what's next on our list, but I'm looking forward to watching some Marvel, if I can. Anyway, I really need to go, so I will see you all over here. Hello, today was a pretty good day overall. I went for the job interview, I got there were 2 people there, they had no idea that I was coming in for a job interview. They contacted the person obviously I was early, but they contacted the person who I was meant to be doing the interview with. Apparently they were running really, really late, so they just texted the people who were there the questions that they were going to ask me. I had to write down the answers, so this easily could have been an email or even a phone call. And then that was it, and I said, do you want me to stick around or should I go? But they were like, no, you can go, it's fine. So I left and I ran to get the bus so that I could get it within the hour, because basically how it works in London is if you get on a bus within the hour, you don't pay double. Sort of if you're going there and back, it's within 1 hour, it's unlimited. And I literally made it, I think, with about 4 minutes to spare. Maybe not even that. But I was very lucky that the bus came on time, and then I had quite a long journey back, but I came back, got here, and then quite soon after that went out again to meet my great aunt, who's actually from Belgium, but she's here now, literally just until tomorrow. So it was nice to get to see her, plus some other family members. We all went for a coffee, which was nice. And then I came back. My aunt was here, so that was really nice as well. And then, because we'd all had quite a busy day, my grandma decided we'd just order pizza. So I went to do some shopping while we waited for the pizza because we ordered it to be collected. So I did some shopping, got the pizza, ate the pizza, and the pizza was fine. But my grandma fried up some potatoes rather than getting chips, just fried some potatoes at home and made 2 salads, which were both delicious. And I think I would have been fine with the meal without the pizza. I definitely liked the other 3 components more, but it was tasty. And I have about half the pizza left for tomorrow lunch, which is exactly when I'll eat it. And now I am very full. Oh, and actually somewhere in between, I also watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special with my friend, because that was next on our list apparently. And then now we are hoping to start Luke Cage. And you might have heard my phone buzzing whilst I've been filming this video, which probably means that my friend is ready. But I went to rub my eye and then realised I'm still wearing my makeup. So I need to take that off first and take pictures of my earrings and my necklace for a closet, which I'll talk about more at some point, I'm sure, but I haven't really spoken about much. So it's been a busy day, it's been a productive day, it's been a good day, mostly, and I'm curious as to what this weekend's gonna be like. I think we have guests coming over for Shabbat lunch, which is Saturday lunch, and I don't know if I know them. And in general, I can find guests anywhere in the world, even when I'm at home, with my parents. I'm just not very good with guests, especially if they are not people I know or that I am friends with. But we'll see how it goes. And I'm sure I'll speak to you tomorrow before Shabbat, hopefully. So that's all from me. I'm going to get all this off and get ready for Luke Cage. And I will see you over here. Hello! I think it's been a few days. I don't think I spoke to you on Friday or yesterday. But just a couple of little updates of things that are going on. On Friday, around probably just after lunch, I imagine Friday was quite a busy day because we went shopping and then we had a lot of food to prepare and etc, etc. I didn't really get much time to myself on Friday, but at some point I did have sort of an hour or so, and I went back online looking for jobs, of course, and I found one for a receptionist role in a sort of dance school, I think it was. And so I thought, well, that's perfect, let me email them. So I emailed them with my CV, etc, and literally within 4 minutes, they wrote back and said, oh, this looks really interesting. So I then had to send them something else, and then they said, right, we'll have an interview on Monday. And that was all within the space of maybe about 10 minutes in total. So that was quite nice and exciting. So that's happening tomorrow morning. And from what I could see from the advertisement, they weren't looking for many hours at all per week. I think it was like 8 hours per week. So obviously that's not ideal, but maybe I can work it up if I do get the job. And anyway, any job, I'll take it at this point. Then that was Friday, we had Friday night Shabbat, that was fine. Then Saturday, yesterday, we had Shabbat lunch, we had guests come over. A lot of my grandma's friends came over, I think there were 7 of us in total. And the food was good. I really enjoyed the food actually, it was a really nice meal. But as I mentioned, I think in the last clip, I am very introverted, very socially anxious, and it's even harder for me when these are people that I don't really have any connection to. So my anxiety was definitely flaring up, but that's okay, it went away eventually. And then after Shabbat finished, I went to babysit my cousins. Actually, just one cousin. And that was so nice. I love that family, and I love that child. And we watched the live action Little Mermaid, which I had never seen, and I've never seen the original movie. Obviously, I always knew the story and some of the songs, but I still haven't seen the original Little Mermaid. I've been in the musical and I've seen the musical, but I thought it was very good. I'm sure I will have spoken about it in my favourites. But it definitely was, again, one of those things of, oh, I want to be in a musical so badly. Or a film. Anything. I just want to do that. Anyway. Also, this is going to be a bit of a tangent, but it's something that I've thought about often. Not often. Occasionally. There are some families that in my mind I just see as perfect families. They just seem to have it all. The parents are nice, they raise their kids right, the kids are all lovely, they live comfortably, they're just a warm family. And even though they live comfortably, you don't feel like, you know, they are entitled to it, or they don't act like they're entitled to it, and the people still work hard, and it's just so lovely to know them. I don't know if other people relate to this, but I've got a couple of families that sort of fall into that category for me. And it's so nice to see when that exists. And also it made me realise I'm so grateful for the way I've become so much more a part of the family here, because that was one of the reasons I came over. One of the things I really didn't like about being in Australia was missing all the celebrations and also the other stuff, obviously, but just not being around for everything. And so it's nice that coming here, I have sort of succeeded in that side of it, of, you know, really being a closer part of my extended family. And they are extended. I mean, aside from, obviously, my grandma, one set of cousins and one aunt, everyone is either a great aunt or a first cousin once removed, or second cousins, or further. So it's nice that despite that, I still have this close bond with them. Anyway, bit of a tangent there. The other thing I came on here to say is that I think it was on Friday, this huge thing came through the door. Obviously, I'm blurring my address, but still. And at first, I had absolutely no idea what it was, and then I realised someone on the ship said they were going to send me their sheet music. So I'm going to have a look at it. I'm going to open. I have no idea what to expect. But here we go. Ooh. Oh, this is cool. Dionne Warwick medley. Another one? Oh my goodness. So this is like 10 copies of the same medley. Oh, and then we've got a Sound of Music medley. That's cool. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. Oh, I see. It's not the same copy. I've got a vocal line, I've got a bass line, I've got a drum line, I've got a saxophone line, I've got another saxophone line and a flute, trombone. This is really cool. Trumpet. Oh, brilliant. That's really cool. Don't know exactly when I'm going to use that, but it's really cool to have. So I think that's all I've got to report for now. I changed my bed today, which I've been wanting to do for a while, so that's nice. And I have a huge pile of laundry I need to do. But my cousins are coming over for lunch, so I don't think my grandma wants us to do any laundry until they've left. And then I presume she'll also want to do some laundry, so we'll have to figure out who goes when. But I'm not in a rush, it's just very full. But luckily, I have enough clothes now that it's okay if it doesn't get done immediately. And then tonight, I'm really hoping to go to gymnastics. I missed out on doing it twice this week because of the musical, but I really want to go today. Anyway, I do think that's all for now. I will see you all later. Over here. Yay! Hello. It's been a while. I am going to speak about the last few days first, and then I'm going to be talking about death. So, trigger warning, and if you want to stop the video early, that's fine. Once I start talking, I'll make an announcement when I go into it. That will probably be the end of the video, so if you want to stop watching there, I don't blame you. So, I don't know when I last spoke to you. I think it was Sunday, I think I spoke about the babysitting, which was really good. And then Sunday lunchtime, my cousins came over, which was really nice. And then in the evening, I went to gymnastics, which was really good. And look, I'm still rubbish, but the next day I was less sore, and it's now 2 days after, and I'm basically no longer feeling any pain, which is a miracle to me, because the first few times I went, it was basically a whole week that I was sore. So I'm counting this as a win. So that was really good. And then Monday morning, I had a job interview. I don't know if I spoke about that, for a dance school. And within minutes, we realised they were only looking for someone to work Saturdays, which I can't because I'm Jewish, so I keep Shabbat. So that was a very quick call. Luckily, it was a Zoom call rather than me going into town to find out. And then not long after that, my drama school that I used to go to was posting that they were looking for an assistant. So I've emailed them. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's applied, but that would be perfect for me, obviously. But we'll see, because as I say, I'm sure there's going to be competition. And then there was something last night. What did we do last night? I'm sure something happened. Oh, yes, I remember now. And this is where I'm going to talk about death. So if you want to finish the video here, you can. So last night, I found out that the musician I worked with for the entire season last year passed away. To me, and from what I've heard to everyone, it was totally unexpected. I mean, he was 70, but 70 nowadays is pretty young, and he was so healthy and fit and active and lively. Like, you'll see some 70-year-olds who you think, right, okay, kind of, I don't want to say it makes sense when they pass away, but you don't feel it doesn't come as much of a shock to you, I guess, whereas this really felt like a shock to the system. So I'd actually had a missed call from one of my cruise directors a bit earlier in the day, I think maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I could see the missed call, but they hadn't left a message or a voicemail or anything, so I thought it was a bit odd. I thought maybe they're telling me they're in London and I've just missed them, or I don't know. And then during supper, actually, I got a message from another one of my cruise directors saying, "Hey Raquel, have you heard? I've got some bad news, blah, blah, blah." And initially, I think I was just in disbelief. It just doesn't feel real. This is someone I met less than a year ago, and it was someone who I was so close to. It was the person I was probably closest to on the ship. They were basically the reason I came back in winter. I was determined. I said, I'm not coming back unless I'm working with them again. And they were just, I've spoken about them in so many vlogs, I'm sure, just how grateful I was to them and how kind they were and supportive and everything. So I held it together during supper because, as I say, I got this message in the middle of supper. And then I messaged my parents because they've both met him. And, you know, I've spoken about him a lot to them. And within minutes, my father called, which I didn't realise I needed. Because the thing is, and I might cry, so bear with me, there's not many people I can talk to because I've got my 3 cruise directors who I worked with. That's kind of it. I mean, I've got, you know, the receptionist who I worked with as well. Kind of, but I've not really been in touch with her since I left the ship. And the other people from the ship I haven't really been in touch with at all. So there was no one really I could speak to about this. And so to get a call from my father was very good, very nice. It's almost like he's known me all my life. And he literally just said, "What happened?" And I said, "I have no idea." And then I burst into tears. And it was good to just be able to chat with my father who understood. And my father phrased it in a way that I felt, but I didn't know how to word it, which is, he's basically my musician, just come in and out of my life in an instant, and yet it was such an important relationship I had with him, and it's so strange, and I can't quite believe it. And the thing is, when we said goodbye, I knew there was a chance I'd never see him again, not because he passed away, but because he lived in a different country, and even though we made plans and said, oh, it would be nice to see each other, you never know how it goes with those kinds of jobs, and that's something I'd sort of accepted already, and I was aware of it, even though it made me sad. But you don't think it's gonna end like this. Especially, like, it's been a month. It's been a month since I last saw him. Like, it doesn't make sense. And the other strange thing, I think, for me, is that, unfortunately, I am hyper aware of death, and even in moments when all you should be focusing on is the life and the present and whatnot, I have a very bad tendency to already be worried about whoever I'm with's death, even if, you know, they're still young. And so with my musician, I did occasionally have moments where I'd go back to my cabin and think, there is gonna, I mean, he's, as I say, he's 70, so I knew that the chances were very high he would pass away before me. And I would occasionally go back to my cabin and just have this sort of morbid thought in my head of like, there is gonna come a day where I'm gonna hear that he's passed away, and it's gonna be devastating. But I never would have imagined it would be this soon. It just feels so undeserved. He's one of those people who you would meet and within minutes you'd just feel so, I don't know what the right word is, like you'd feel like you were given a hug by him, even if you didn't actually give him a hug. He just exuded such warmth and love and friendliness and, everyone on the ship, the guests all loved him. We all loved him, all the staff, like he was just a gem, and it's a real loss. And I can't believe I'm never gonna be able to message him again or see him again or anything. So yeah, spoke to my father last night, spoke to my mum with my father there as well this morning, spoke to my cruise directors as well, spoke to my receptionist actually, and we're all a bit in shock. But he was so about, you know, living life and making the most of the moments, and he wouldn't want any of us to sit and wallow, and I know that, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna feel sad. So yeah, on that happy note, I think I'm gonna end this video here, and I will see you all in the next video with hopefully some more happy news. Okay, bye.